Good morning for those who are watching this in the morning. Good afternoon for those who are watching this in the afternoon. And also good evening for those who are watching this in the evening or at night. Well, this is the first time that we meet each other online, but I still would like you guys to keep the full energy as we do have in class. And this content that we are going to have today will be the best for our upcoming discussion, so make sure that you watch it and then you pay the full attention. So make sure that you understand the content before you turn it off. We're going to talk about the small talk. Small talk is something that happens all the time in our daily life. Before we move to the word small talk, I would like you to stop for 10 seconds. Think a little bit about what do you see in the word small talk. Definitely right. There are two words, obviously, small and talk. Do we need to be small so we can be in the small talk? Or do we need to have a small voice so we can be in the small talk? I would like to talk about the definition of the word small talk first. So small talk happens every day. Small talks happen in the canteen. Small talk happens at my office. Small talk happens like when we meet in front of the class. Small talk happens during the break. Right. Small talk happens when you first meet someone. Small talk happens when you walk past someone at the hallway. Right. Do you have any guess? Like, do you have any clues about the word small talk now? Well, and this is a definition of the word small talk. Small talk is the act of having a casual conversation about recent experiences or activities. Highlight the two words here that we find. First one, casual, and the second one, recent. Casual. Casual means something that is not serious, something in general, something that you don't have to put an effort to talk about it. So it's a casual. The word recent. Recent means not long ago. So it can be something that people can flash back, something that people can just think about that by not having to sit down and recall the situation. Let's just find the antonym คู่ตรงข้ามกันบ้าง So if small talk is something that is casual and we talk about the recent activities ตรงข้าม the opposite or an antonym of the word of the small talk of this activity is a deep talk. We touched a little bit in our class last time about the word deep talk, right? Deep talk is the conversation that you probably need to be in a close relationship with your convo or your partner. The conversation is a little bit in details, but we are going to we are going to keep it about the deep talk in our class next time. Now, let's just come back to the word small talk. Okay, small talk happens all the time, as we know, right? So let's see what are the advice for the small talk. First, as we say that it is casual. Don't ask them about the global warming. Don't ask them about some issue that they need to think about that. Ask something in general, something that they don't have to use Google to search for that, something that they don't have to call their moms like why and for the information. So ask the question that they know. For example, what's your favorite restaurant in MFU? Easy to answer. They know it. It's in their daily life, so they don't have to go research for that. Keep it simple. Keep it easy. The second advice for the small talk is when somebody asks you, right? It will be your turn to answer. And when you answer in a small talk, make sure that you don't put too many details in that. So keep it brief and keep the key details only. So don't go for details, don't go for numbers, and don't go for like all specific details. This can refer you back to the 10 rules that we watched last time in TED Talk, right? People don't care about numbers in our small talk. Keep it later or leave it to the deep talk, not in this small talk. For example, if somebody asks you, what is your most favorite restaurant in MFU? Just say it directly. Just be simple, like I like the one at D1. Don't go like I like the one at D1, I go there. every day, and it is at the left corner of blah blah blah, so you take 3 minutes walk by there and go with which what directions. That is not how it works in the small talk. Make sure that you breathe enough. Advice number 3, as we mentioned in our early classes, that conversation is not just about like your sound, it's not just about our verbal language, but it's also the gestures or non-verbal language. So make sure that you smile and you use a proper body language. Don't show them that you are bored, or don't show them that you are so in rush, right? Small talk won't take a very long time, so make sure that you spend the high quality time with them. And the last advice number 4, this is very important as well. We are talking about small talk. Small talk happens in general, right? So make sure that you don't touch a political issues, or you don't touch controversial issues. For example, you may not want people to come to you and then ask you what you think about these religions and those religions. Those are the sensitive issues. It's supposed to happen in some particular area, some stage, to show those opinions, but not in the small talk. Now we are going to dive into the details of the small talk. What are there in it? So when you jump into the small talk, what do you need to face? ต้องเจออะไรบ้างเวลาที่เราเข้าไปถึง small talk แล้ว For example, at the second that people saying hi to you until the end of the conversation in the small talk, let's see what will happen. Before we talk about the detailed small talk, I would like everyone to breathe in 1, 2, 3. We are going to recall our information back from the last class. Okay, we have the structure. Remember, PPR. Right, our PPR. Okay, so this is the structure of PPR. Recall, right? We have the preparation stage, we have the participation stage, and we have the reflection stage. So these are the stage of the conversation. So as I mentioned earlier, every conversation we need the PPR stage to practice and to make sure that we can join that conversation effectively. You prepare the information, you think about that, think before you speak, you participate in the conversation effectively, and then when you stop the conversation, think about what could be done better, or what did you miss, or what did you do great. Here, when we talk about small talk is one kind of conversation, as we know, right? So the stages are still there. Don't miss the stage. Keep it forever. Keep it gone. We are going to talk about the structure of the small talk. It's right here in the participation stage. Okay, so since the first second that you start talking until the last session in the participation stage, let's see what are they need right here. We will leave the preparation and reflection first, and now we are going to focus on the participation stage. And let's see in the small talk what happens in the participation stage. Alright, there are 3 main parts in the small talk since you first start saying hi. Okay, the first one, it's an opener, noun, mutual exchange, and the last one we have the closer and parting. Opener is the stage when you start seeing people's face and then you start the conversation. So in order to start the conversation, it can be either question or statement. An opener is a statement or question to start a conversation. It's like a wink, like let's start the conversation. The easiest way and the most common ways that people do the opener when we meet somebody at the first time. Hi, my name is Betty. I'm not sure if we met. What's your name? Trying to introduce yourself is also counted as opener. Opener can also be the statement about the weather. It can be about traffic. It can be about experiences or some recent activities as well. So now I would like to show you some famous openers for you. So maybe you can practice this from home, and then next time we are going to show Hong and we're going to try this in class together. For example, we can open the statement with like, the weather is nice today, isn't it? I heard the traffic will be really heavy today. How often do you come to this coffee shop? How often do you come to this coffee shop? This is just like opening questions, right? Ask a question that is very easy to answer. They don't have to like count the numbers, but they're like, oh, I come here very often. We have another thing to start to talk about in the small talk. Here are more examples of the opener. We will move to the middle. So when you start a conversation, as I mentioned earlier, as we discussed, conversation is like a ping pong playing, right? You need to hit it back. Don't let them just like hit you only. So hit it back. So don't let somebody just keep asking you questions. That's called interview, not a conversation. We need a mutual exchange. You can share the knowledge or experience that both of you are interested. You probably have the questions right now, like, Ajahn, this is very easy. If we know each other before, we know what they like, or we know like what to talk about. But what if we meet that person for the first time? We don't know like what they're interested, or we don't know what they're into. What do we do? How can we know that is this a mutual knowledge or mutual interest or not? I have the answer for you guys today. In order to do that, we have to be Conan. We have to be the detective. When you start the conversation, start with something in general, and when they answer, you listen. So when you listen, you know them more. As we mentioned, right? Conversation shows who you are, so you will learn them talk about something that they just said. But if you know each other already, luckily, you know interest, you know the mutual knowledge and background. We meet at a badminton court, you probably say, how long have you been playing badminton? You are at the badminton court and that person is in the badminton court. That means you have the mutual interest in badminton. Are you looking forward to the weekend? Yes, no question, right? Flat back. Are you looking forward to the weekend? Ask them about everyone knows that we are going to have the weekend on this Saturday and Sunday. Right? The highlight or the main key of the mutual exchange, after the opener, we move to the next step of mutual exchange. The keyword or the key advice in this stage is that please listen, contribute from what they said, listen from them and learn from them in the small talk. Build to the second floor and third floor, continue that topic. Don't just keep bringing the new topic because we don't have the whole day for that. It's a small talk. Let's just see some examples of opener and mutual exchange. Today I have the guest with us. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our special guest. I heard there's a concert at the stadium tonight. Who's playing at the concert? MFU band. I like to listen to them because I used to play drum in the band. Do you like to watch live music? No, I prefer to watch sports. I like to watch football. What sport do you like? See what are the states of mind that we can design. We start with the MFU band. We start with like the music things, right? And then we ended up with the sport. I would like to leave this worksheet for you guys. So as you see the table behind me, we are going to do this activity together in class, but make sure that you try this from home. If you see some following lines, another person in your small talk, what would you respond? Once again, make sure that if they say something, you contribute from that thing, not like if they say something and you bring something to say as well. The first example, this is provided here. Somebody's coming to you and say, I'm from Bangkok, right? Don't just say, oh, I'm from Trat. So you don't have anything to talk about that. When they say, I'm from Bangkok, share the mutual exchange your basic knowledge about Bangkok, right? I'm from Bangkok. Oh, I'm from Trat, but I visited Bangkok twice or I think 3 times. So where do you recommend me to go if I visit Bangkok? See, don't start talking about Trat. Talk about something that they mentioned earlier, which is Bangkok. We have the opener, we have the mutual exchange, and now เมื่อมีม้าก็ต้องมีลา In the small talk, there are 2 main things that will happen now, which is the closers and parting. Small talk conversation do not usually last very long. Scenes of living, we cannot just like, oh, I like sport too, and then bye. Then byeเลย. This is not the way that humans do, right? The way that we do is that when we meet them, we give them a hint that we are going to talk. When we leave also, give them a hint as well. ไปแบบมีเยื่อใยสักนิดหนึ่ง closer, close ใช่ไหม close เรามี opener we have the opener and at the end we have also the closer มีตัวเปิดก็ต้องมีตัวปิด closer is the way to end the conversation เราเหมือนเราเอาตัวเองเข้าไปอยู่ใน conversation นั้นแล้วอ่ะมันเป็นความรู้สึกใช่ไหม and if you just like leave without เยื่อใย bye ไปแล้วอย่างเงี้ยมันเหมือนปรับตัวไม่ทัน so it is very important to give them a hint. Closer is the way or the sign to end the conversation when the parting is the opposite of greeting. Parting is an exact word that is like the full stop in writing เหมือนเป็น full stop เวลาเราเขียน It is like the full stop in an essay. It is like the full stop in the sentence. It is like the ขีดเส้นใต้ like the underlined in Thai that okay this is the end. Closer, it can be divided into three main types. The first one, the reasons or the accused. Tell them why you need to go. Oh, I'm sorry, I need to go now. You're telling them indirectly that we need to stop talking because I will leave. I really need to get back to work on 11:30. I don't want to take up too much of your time. The next one, this is my favorite way of closer, and I think this is pretty much like practical as well. We can end this conversation by arranging the next conversation instead. Oh, I will see you on Tuesday. Can we talk more about this later? Will you be at the office? When we start talking about something in the future, it means that you're not in the present already. So the present has to end. That's why we plan for the future. And the last closer, it's about the wrap up. Oh, thanks for this chat. Oh, that has been great. Even the signals that this is ending and we need to get ready to go. Now it's a time for the full stop. ใส่จุด full stop ให้ conversation เราด้วย Parting can be both informal and formal. So informal can be สมมติเป็นเพื่อนกันเจอชื่ออะไรดี Yaya is my best friend. See you later, we friends. So we don't have to be formal. If we meet Ajahn, my senior, Alan Gallian, we're not friends. So we probably not like see ya. Trying to be a little bit formal. Have a nice day. See you. Take care. Goodbye is also a formal way to do the parting. Let's just merge it together. Mama merge กันดีกว่า between the closer and parting. Give them a side and then put the full stop in it. This has been great. Gotta run. Informal way, right? My class starts in the 15 minutes. Take it easy. My class starts in 15 minutes. Closer. Full stop. Take it easy. Will you be at the stadium tonight? See ya. Okay, I won't keep you any longer. Have a nice day. Okay, I won't keep you any longer. Closer. Have a nice day. Full stop. So make sure that you make it complete, opened and closed. You have the opener and you close it very effectively. I think that covered pretty much of the main theme or main content. Right, opener is a greeting. Opener can be both question and statement ยังอยู่กับอาจารย์นะ Now we move to the middle or the ping pong stage. You exchange your mutual interest or your mutual understanding. Before we leave, we need two things. The first one, it is a closer and we have the parting. And next time in class, we are going to practice this structure. Opener, mutual exchange, and end it with closer and parting together. Make sure that you keep working on the assessment accordingly to the schedule. What has to be done this week has to be done this week. Your weekly conversation, make sure that you record the video. Make sure that you put full attention to talk to the international students or your partner. Make sure that you write the description. So thank you very much for paying like full attention today. I'm giving the signal, so this is pretty much like the closer. See you. Parting. Bye bye. Another parting.